Hello, and thanks for looking back at the channel. And following on from the last time we saw this loco, we're going to start trying to clean it up. Now, I had an excellent suggestion in the comments about using a baby vacuum cleaner, so I've had that on it, and it's removed a huge amount more of the foam. Now, I've taken the screw out, so I'm just going to lift the body off. Now, you might see there's quite a bit more foam in there. We'll get onto the chassis another time, but it's the body I want to look at today. Now, just please don't be alarmed if you notice a little bit of an injury to my hand. I had a PPE failure while I was handling some chemicals for cleaning the clocks, but it's healing up nicely. Now, I'm going to try and bring this up. I'm hoping you can see the discoloration. Now, maybe over where the firebox is, if I get the light right, you can see that the foam has left a sort of awful residual, it's like just a sticky mess, and it won't wipe off. I'm not going to attempt to wipe it off, so I'm going for a gentle submersion. So let me just bring into view a little pot. Now, in there is nothing really other than tepid water. I've got some very soft brushes, and there's just one drop of very gentle soap in there. So let's pop that in, and what I'm hoping is we'll come back and have a look at it in a few minutes after I've showed you a couple of other items. Now, I've been reading through the comments and I've had a couple of requests, so I thought it's a good time to get to them. So I'm back to the little M7 here. Now, I'm going to try and get this into focus. It was asked if we could see inside the smoke box, so I'm just hinging the smoke box door open and attempting to get some light in there. And there is some detail. There's sort of tubes and other mouldings, but it's quite nice. And the hinge, if I can just get that into focus, hopefully, it's very delicate. So easily broken, I would imagine, but once the door is open, it tends to, I suppose because the plastic's a bit old, tends to try and swing back. But when I shut it, it's very difficult to discern that it actually even opens in the first place. But anyway, for those who asked to have a quick look in there, I hope that was interesting. And something else that was mentioned was the fact that the little N7 I ran the other day, the LMS, one subscriber wasn't aware that the Wrenn chassis was different from the Hornby 00, so I thought I'd just bring out a Hornby 00 example there and a Wrenn example, and we just take the bodies off and have a quick look. So I'm just going, I have taken the screws out, so I'm just going to lift off the body there. That's the Hornby 00 chassis, and now that has got the vertical armatured motor. This is a nice clean example, one I run on my test track. But when Wrenn came round to it, they did redesign the chassis, so as you can see, the body is virtually identical. This one's just got coal in the bunker, that's an open bunker, but look at this. We've got a completely different chassis here, much lighter, and Wrenn's own version of an XO4 really. It's a horizontal motor, it's got the brushes held in a fibre strip. It's just longer than an XO4, the armature shaft extends right over to the centre there. But they did retool. It's a nice chassis. Pickups just underneath there, and we've got the nickel wheels. So there is quite a difference if I hold these two together. The very heavy Hornby 00 example, and then the newer Wrenn example. Now, while we're on these excellent little N2 type tanks, I have got a couple of items that will run on the layout today. Be good to have a little bit of a running session. So I've looked out these two great Triang Wrenn. Look at that, Triang Wrenn. and let's have a look in the boxes and see what we're going to be running today. Well, look, here's a B.R version. Now this is another Wrenn locomotive, just move that out of the way, but in really nice B.R livery. So I'm going to enjoy running that on the Super 4 Mainlines. And then something that I really like in here, just ease the lid off, a very attractive locomotive. And let me just remove this tissue paper, ease this out of the box. Let's take the protective ring off there. And there we have a very, very pretty, possibly apple green L.N.E.R tank engine. So these two that are just in the front now are going to be running on the Super 4 track shortly. And then when we've had a good look at those going round, I'm going to come back and see whether I've had any luck getting that contamination off the Princess Royal body. So let's get over to the main layout. Right, well, I'm on the main layout now. I think I forgot to mention that both these little Triang Wrenn locos are catalogued as Triang Wrenn W2217. Even though the liveries are different, they seem to have the same number. So here's the L.N.E.R one on the downward line. I'm still running my multi-pack, and I'm just going to put a little bit of power on and get this underway. They're such good fun, these little tank locos. I think that looks great, that apple green or whatever green it is. So going through the station now, it's just passing the B.R version, which is parked in the long siding, so I need to get that out. So I'm going to set points F so I can drive that out onto the upward main line. So let's just see whether I can move that forward. Got a nice little freight train behind that. So I've set points F for mainline running, and this little B.R version is really making some great headway on the layout. That's tearing away, that one is. I think I'm going to back that off in a second. Let's just get back to the controller. I think that's probably a great speed to run both these locos, so I'm going to follow them round a bit now. It's amazing how they do pick up even more speed as they get more run in, or the motors get warm. Once you've had them on a few minutes, they always pick up more speed. I love the red bands around the boiler of this model, very reminiscent of the formerly 00. So once again, I'm just going to reduce the speed slightly, and then we'll take a look at the passenger service. And here it comes with its lovely Wrenn Pullman coaches. Slight hesitations here and there. I do really need to get a good clean of the main lines. I think because I've been running some of the traction tyre tender drive locos, occasionally the traction tyres slip a bit and leave a fraction of a deposit on the top of the nickel plating, and that can cause the odd stutter and hesitation. That will be a job before the next video. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is get a few shots of these nice little 062 locos going around the layout, and then we'll take a look at how the Princess Royal body's getting on. Okay, well I hope you enjoyed seeing those little tank locos. I had great fun just running those. They're superb. Oh, well, I'm just hauling this out of the water now and I'm probably lost for words slightly. That's just that. That doesn't look very good, does it? I mean, can you see that on the camera? I think you probably can. We've got a enhancement of whatever the foam has turned into. It's gone very white or silvery looking. It's very rough now, and so it's obviously swelling up. It won't come off though. So let's take a look inside. Let's just look in there. The body shell is superbly clean inside, not a mark on it, and I was hoping it would look like that on the outside. So this side is looking quite good. Just the odd little discoloration here and there from the foam, but I'm very disappointed. That's not turned out well at all. Now I'm certainly not going to attack this with anything else other than water. If any of you have got any suggestions, I'd be pleased to hear them, but it's not yielding to a gentle rub. I think now I've started the process, it might just need to go in the water for a prolonged period, and then maybe, just hopefully, it will loosen from the body shell. I'll be interested to hear what you all think about this, what you might do if it was your loco. You can see that the water hasn't at all done anything to the condition of the plastic underneath, so it's all down to whatever the foam has done to the loco. But it's very rough now. Wherever the coloration is, when you run your thumb along like that, I can really feel it, almost like fine sandpaper. So I'm just hoping that the fact I can feel it more now, it's just loosening from the body shell. Right, well I think I'm committed. I think I'll probably step that up to a 12-hour submersion now and see whether it loosens. The water is now cold, but there we go. Well, that's toy trains, model trains, all the fun of restoration and investigations. Things don't always turn out right first time, but I'm sure we'll get there. Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing everything this time, and For the next video, I'm hoping the parts will have arrived for the Gauge Master repair, so we'll take a look at that. But until the next video, I'll now say goodbye.